On your side mirror, this beautiful Monday morning, we are continuing the dialogue on the new U.S. visa policy. So we're looking for how Nigerians can understand the new U.S. visa policy, which is going to be a guide for smooth applications. That's the focus. And joining me on the phone line, I have Miss Oluwaseyi Abegunde, who is founder, Unity Uptake LLC. And she's joining us all the way from the United States of America. Madam, nice to have you. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
All right. I know we spoke about 2 weeks ago, and at that time, the news was still very fresh as to what's been happening as it relates to the new visa policy from America. But precisely, which state are you in the United States of America?
I'm in Texas.
Texas. And Texas is one of perhaps the biggest state that we have in America, I suspect. All right. So let's start this morning. I know that 2 weeks ago you were taking us through the changes, some of the latest developments as it relates to the policy. But for those who missed it, can you just rewind a bit, Mrs. Abegunde? What are the latest U.S. visa policy changes that affect Nigerians?
So there has been a number of changes, and one was the, shortened visa validity, as well as the reduced number of entry to single entry visa. That I talked about. I think that was one of the first things I talked about
right.
The last time, and so that's like one of the major changes that we recorded. And the new one, the most recent one, was the 15,000 bond pilot program.
Okay.
That was introduced recently as well. And that, we have not confirmed that it would affect Nigerians as of now.
Okay.
But this was as a result of the proposed ban that was released sometime in June.
Okay.
And some countries have now been, included in this pilot program, but Nigeria is not part of the countries yet.
For now.
We're just waiting to see. Yes.
All right. Exactly. So can you just explain to us, how does the $15,000 bond pilot program, how does it work?
So it's basically paying a bond. So it's going to be between $5,000 to $15,000. So it will depend on the amount of money that would be paid by each country. So before you can come in, or before you can get your visiting visa, which is the B1B2, the tourist visa, you would be asked to pay a bond just to be able to ensure that you would not overstay your visa. Okay. But you can actually collect the money back. So far you are able to go back to your country.
All right. So for those who might not really understand all of this that we're talking about, what are the categories of visas that Americans issue for those that come to their country? Can you just give us a brief overview of that one?
So we have different categories. B1, B2 is tourist visas. Then we have the F1, which is the student visa. We have some that are also in the categories of the spouses of students. There are different, F numbers. We also have the H1B, which is a Okay. I said we have the H1B, which is the non-immigrant visa for workers. We also have, the current ones that I've been talking about recently, the EB1A and EB2 and IW. We also have the various categories of EB. We have A, B, C. We have the regular EB2 and EB2 and IW. And those ones are also employment-based visas, but they are pathway to green card. So we have a number of them.
Okay.
We'll just mention a few.
All right. Now, this new policy kicked off when? Was it July?
Is it about the visa validity or
yes. The
pilot? Yeah, that was July 8th, 2025.
Right. So invariably, what does this mean for Nigerians? I mean, for those who are listening to us right now, they're wondering what this new policy is all about. Before now, what did we used to have, and what does this new one, how different is it from the old one?
Yeah, so before July 8th, Nigerians used to have the multiple entry 5 year, visa validity. So it means that you can come into the US between the time you received your visa and the 5 year validity, and you can come in as many times as possible. Then you have the validity of your stay for 6 months. So you can come in and stay for as long as 6 months and then return to Nigeria.
Okay.
But after then, now we have a single entry 3 months visa validity. So you basically can come in once and you cannot stay for more than 3 months. At a time. And by the time you go back to Nigeria, if you plan to come back into the US, you would have to apply for another visa, which was not so before. You can come in as much as you want with the 5 year validity. So, prior to the 5 years, we also have the 2 year validity that was in 2023. So 2023 was when the US started giving the 5 year visa validity.
Right.
So people who has those kind of visas can still use that right now. So the new visa policy does not affect the visas that were issued before the date of the new policy.
All right. So are there changes to the processing times for US visas and for Nigerians?
So there is no formal change to the processing time, but due to the increased demand for a lot of different documents, additional security checks, the visa processing times have lengthened right now, and sometimes it could take several months or even longer than usual. So that actually affects a lot of other countries as well. So it's basically as a result of the increased scrutiny, on the visas.
All right. So, Oluwaseyi, Abegunde, how does the current political climate in the United States, how does it impact visa approvals for Nigerians? Do you think there's any political undertone in all of this?
I would say yes. The U.S. has tightened immigration policies overall, focusing on national security, and they are reducing, irregular migration right now. So it has led to, stricter visa vetting and sometimes more denials, and, I would say delays for applicants from different countries. With Nigeria inclusive. So that has actually, improved. It has actually increased the number of denials and, delays being experienced as well.
So are Nigerian students also affected by these visa policy updates?
Yes. While the F1 student visas remain available, Nigerian students sometimes, face longer interview, times, and also extra documentation requirements to prove their intent to return home after studies right now. So there are lots of different requirements, different documents that have been requested from the F1 visas. And we have actually been seeing, some denials as well. But the F1 visa is definitely still available, and shortened validity also, as well as the number of entry that has been reduced also affects the F1 visa.
So let's look at it in broader perspective now. So for students who want to study in America, I mean, they're going for a 4-year course or 5 years course. Are they going to be affected by this kind of visas? Are they going to be issued 3 months, or how does it work?
Yes, so they would be issued 3 months as well, but as soon as they get in, so far they don't have to travel back. They would not have problem with the 3 month validity, because as you come in, it's going to be for the duration of your stay, which is the duration of your study. But if you have to travel back, each time you have to travel back, you would then have to get, another visa to come in.
All right. So we're hearing some news as well that students are being affected right now. Some have even said, or some have alleged that some of their visas are being revoked. Students that are there, some on scholarships, having their visas revoked. Is that correct? Is that true?
Personally, I've not seen that happen to someone that I know, but I know that some people have been affected. But I would say what I've known to be part of this issue is people having problems with anti-American activities online, and a lot of different activities that are against the U.S. policies right now. So one of the things that is important to consider is to stay clear of anti-American activities, try to stay out of trouble, and just obey the rules, obey the rules, obey the laws, and you would not have problem with revocations.
All right. And I also hear part of the scrutiny right now is profiling for social media. Is that part of the criteria for profiling?
Yes, it is. It is. So right now, it has been the practice before for you to supply your social media profile pages. But one of the things that is very critical in the visa vetting processes right now is the social media activities. So if you have done some things that are anti-American on your social media pages, you might be in for, a problem, I would say.
Right.
So it's very important to mind your social media activities so that you can stay out of trouble.
Lagos Traffic Radio, that is 6.1 FM. This morning, we're understanding the new U.S. visa policy for Nigerians, a guide for smooth application, and taking us to the classroom this morning, all the way from Texas in the United States. I have Miss Oluwaseyi Abegunde, who is founder, Unity Uptake LLC. She will tell us what they do with Unity Uptake very, very shortly. But getting back to the roads, those of you navigating through Ikorodu Road is still looking good, but at the inner part of Ikorodu, coming in for the rear, a Greek inwards Ogolonto, we have a breakdown there, and that is receiving attention. So take note of that if you are within that particular corridor. Other major corridors to the island are still looking good. Third Milan Bridge, very good. Ikorodu Road, connecting Funshaw Williams, and Eko Bridge, linking up with Akmongbon, is also looking good, even though you have lots of influx within that corridor. Those of you on Lagos Abeokuta Expressway are still having it good as well. All right, then. So, Oluwaseyi, what should Nigerian visa applicants now do to improve their chances under the new rules?
Make sure you have the documents that are required of you. Make sure you prepare adequately for your interviews. Make sure you understand what each application entails. So provide complete and truthful documentation. That is very important. I said truthful documentation to demonstrate strong ties to Nigeria, and prepare thoroughly for your interview to address any concerns about your intent. So that's basically what I would say. Be truthful in your application. Make sure your application is complete. Also, demonstrate strong ties to Nigeria, especially for people applying for non-immigrant visas. You do not have to show, or you need to not have immigration intent when you are applying for a non-immigrant visa. So prepare thoroughly for your interview to address any concerns about your intent. All
right. So are there any new visa categories or programs that Nigerians should know about?
So there are a few other categories. I would not say new, so they are not new, but there are programs like the skilled worker visas that continues to be an option for qualified applicants. So since the B1, B2 visa is looking towards the expensive side now, so it's getting more expensive, there are some other visas that people can then look into if they qualify.
Okay.
So when we talk about the H1B, if you are able to get a job that can sponsor, if you also want to look into applying for yourself, like self-petition without a job offer, you can look into the EB1A and EB2 NIW visas. Those are for people with extraordinary ability and exceptional ability.
Okay.
So you can look into those options right now, since the B1, B2 route
it's very, very difficult.
It's getting expensive. Yeah, it's getting expensive and difficult.
Right.
But that is if you're looking for long-term visas, long-term opportunities in the US.
So the EB1 and the EB2 that you mentioned now, is it similar to the green card that we had before now?
Yes, so it's a pathway to green card. EB1 is for individuals with extraordinary ability in fields like science, arts, business, while the EB2 NIW is for professionals whose work benefit the U.S. National interest. So it allows for self-petitioning for green card without a job offer. So you don't need a job offer and you do not need a sponsor. So you just have to be qualified.
All right, then. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I also allow you to join the conversation. Feel free. 08099120777 09153877127. If you want to ask Mrs. Abegunde any question, feel free to do so. Oluwaseyi, how do these US visa changes, how does it impact Nigerian families wanting to visit their relatives in the United States? I need you to shed light on that.
So like I said, it has become more expensive and difficult due to the longer wait times. When you talk about the higher costs, stricter requirements, it can delay family reunion. So for example, you have your daughter getting married, a lot of things are happening now, and we see people, getting married in the US, trying to get their families to attend, their parents to attend, but because of the longer wait times, a lot of people have missed the opportunity of celebrating with their families or reuniting with their families. So it has become really hard. It has become a problem for family reunions, and it can really delay it. So one of the things that I would say is that due to this, there is need for early preparation. So if you would be looking to come, so for example, next year, November, you have to start preparing now so that you are able to get a date before that time, because of the longer wait time and the stricter requirements that has been enforced.
What about those that have been facing visa denials? I mean, those that have tried once, twice, 3 times, what would be your advice to them?
I would say that they should try and understand the reason for the denial and properly address the issue whenever they are applying newly, and possibly seek legal advice if needed, and also avoid providing false information that could harm future chances. So one of the things that is important to note is that whatever application you have submitted at one point of the or the other, the information is with the embassy. So if you have any conflicting information, make sure you have justifications for changing them, and make sure that they are genuine justifications. So it's very important to be truthful in your application process, and basically address whatever issue you might think you have in your prior application.
Do I have a call? Okay, 08099120777 09153877127. There's a question here. It says, good morning. Can this new policy affect people who already have valid US visas? Adeton from Sulere, send that one in.
All right, Adeton. No, this would not affect those who already have their visas prior to July 8th. This would only affect the people that are issued visas after July 8th.
All right. Another one here says, good morning, Victor and Oluwaseyi. My cousin applied for a student visa and was asked to show proof of strong ties to Nigeria. What exactly do they mean by that? Thanks. Banke Afolabi is sending that one in.
All right. So proof of strong ties basically mean that you have enough ties in Nigeria to bring you back. So for example, your parents, you have a job, you have, your family members are still back in Nigeria. You have something, basically, you have something that is bringing you back to Nigeria, and you can prove that in, a lot of different ways. So just think about it. Have that at the back of your mind whenever you're going for a non-immigrant visa, that you have to show something that would prove that you would return to your country when you're done with whatever you are applying for a visa for.
All right. This one says, good morning, Victor. It's nice to hear Mrs. Oluwaseyi on the program. Please kindly avail us her contact after this program. So for people already in the United States with a valid visa, can this policy affect their chances of renewal when they come back to Nigeria? Wale is sending that one in. Wale, thank you.
So renewals they face more scrutiny as well, and longer processing times. So that could be affected or impacted in a way, but you should still be able to, renew your visa provided you are eligible to. So I believe that the longer wait times, the longer processing times, and the more scrutiny would impact that process, but at the same time, the eligibility is the eligibility criteria is what is most important here. So if you're eligible, you will still be able to get your renewals done.
You are an immigrant of some years standing now, and in terms of what you see constantly, because a lot of times people say, well, they've done everything possible and yet they are denied. Talk to me. Do you have that among some of your clients?
So far with my clients, like I said, I mainly focus on the EB1A and EB2 NIW visas, and I have not recorded a single denier. But I always, like I just said now, eligibility criteria. So if you are able to have a good understanding of the eligibility criteria and you are able to satisfy each of the criteria, you would be on the side of I would say luck and also success. But at the same time, I also say that the process could be subjective, and sometimes you might feel like you have crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, and still get, denied or probably request for further evidence. So this happens, and like I said, it could be a subjective process, and sometimes we might find ourselves in this situation.
Are there ways people can connect with you? I mean, those who are listening right now, they say, well, they would like to have a kind of audience where you can also give them this kind of knowledge. Are there ways they can connect with you? Is there anything that is coming up?
Yes, so I have a free webinar coming up on August 16, 2025. So that is next week, Saturday, and it's going to be online. I would be providing the link shortly for the webinar, and you might be able to benefit from this webinar. And it's talking about different migration pathways for the US. So if you want to come into the US, you want to learn the various pathways that you can use to come, it will be beneficial for you to join this webinar. This is going to be 2 p.m. West African time, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And to register, you can register using, let me try and get the link for you.
Okay. While you do this, while you do
yes.
that, let's take this. Lagos Traffic Radio. Hello there. Okay. This one says, good morning and happy new week. Please, is it true that that they now check your social media before granting a visa. Esther is sending this one in. Esther, thank you so much.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. So it's now part of the vetting process. So for any kind of visa whatsoever, your social media page would be vetted.
Okay, so and you, like you said, no anti-American sentiments, right?
Correct.
All right. 08099120777 09153877127. You can put in your questions across, and of course, Miss Abegunde will be here to respond to you and shed more light as well. You did talk about the EB1 and EB2, right? For professionals who are in Nigeria who would like to go through that route, kindly just give us 1 or 2 tips.
All right. So these kind of visas offer faster, and a more flexible route to the U.S. permanent residency. So you do not require an employer sponsorship, and you do not need to have a sponsor. You have to just provide, it provides you the ability to live and work freely in the U.S., which is attractive to Nigerian researchers, Nigerian entrepreneurs, Nigeria professionals. So this is actually one of the fastest routes right now to U.S. permanent residency. So this is a green card pathway that you can come in through. And a lot of people do not have this information available to them. And that is why, we're working on organizing a seminar on these 2 types of visas so that people can be equipped with the information needed. They say information is power. So when you have access to relevant, accurate information about what you need, you are able to make a better informed decisions on those things, and you're able to achieve your goals. So, yes.
When is that seminar coming up?
So the seminar is coming up in different cities in Nigeria. So I would say the first one will be on September 2nd, Tuesday in Abuja. So it's going to be at Bon Hotel Elvis, number 2, Monrovia Street, Wuse 2, Abuja, at 1 p.m. West African time. And I have one coming up in Lagos as well, Radisson Blue Anchorage Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. That is at 1 p.m. as well, 4th September on Thursday.
Okay.
So I will be there to take this session with some of my colleagues in the industry. We would be, educating people on these kind of visas. And another one would be in Ibadan, September 9th on Tuesday at 11th House Hotel and Suites, 24B Baale Akintayo, Jericho, GRA, Ibadan. Same at 1 p.m.
Okay.
But if you need further information about it, you can call some numbers, and I would tell you those numbers right now. It's 081 6687 1091. Again, 081 6687 1091. And another one is 070 6044 1816. 070 6044 1816.
All right. Okay, then Lagos Traffic Radio, that is 6.1 FM, gradually winding to the end this morning. But of course, the whole idea is for you to understand the new U.S. visa policy and how it's going to be affecting Nigerians and how you can navigate through. But of course, Oluwaseyi has mentioned the EB1 and the EB2, which is very, very unique that you can tap into. That might just be a pathway as well. This one says, good morning, Mr. Victor and Miss Abegunde. I'd like to inquire from her how my daughter, who studied medicine in Russia and working there now, and also holds a permanent resident permit in Russia, can move to the United States to work as a medical doctor. Thanks. I remain anonymous, please. Okay. I'm wondering why you want to be anonymous, but thank you so much. So is it possible? I mean, he says his daughter is already working in Russia right now, but would like to migrate to the United States to work there. Is that possible?
It's very possible, and so it's basically going through the route of passing the required exam for the medical students. For the US, it's called the USMLE. So if you are able to pass the various stages of the USMLE exams, you can then find your way. So there are pathways for professionals in the medical field to come into the US. And if there are other experiences as well that matches the EB1A and EB2 NIW type of visas, it's also possible to come through that route, but not just as coming in as a physician right there and then. So you can find a way to come in and then work on writing your exams in the US. So I work with a few doctors practicing in different countries, and there are a lot of different ways that people go through this, and I can be consulted for that as well.
All right, then let's go to run this all off right now, because those who would like to connect with you, once again, the numbers that they can use, or perhaps the social media platform.
All right. So on all social media platforms, follow Unity Uptake, and the number you can contact is 081 6687 1091 070 6044 1816. And to send an email, you can send an email to info@unityuptake.com. info@unityuptake.com. And on the webinar, you can join us on bit.ly/US Migration Pathways. And you'll be able to join the free webinar to get, some valuable information that can help you understand the various U.S. migration pathways.
We'll leave it at that for now, madam. It's nice having you join us on the program this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, then. So we've been trying to understand the new U.S. visa policy for Nigerians, a guideway for smooth applications, and taking us to the classroom this early morning. Miss Oluwaseyi Abegunde, early morning in America, but of course, almost 10 o'clock right here in Nigeria. Founder, Unity Uptake LLC, and I'm sure we must have learned one or two things. We have to go. Mike James has produced the program. I say a big thank you to Remy Aluko and Okwemi Shodunke of our social media team. Our executive producer is Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a splendid day. Bye.
You are